A blessed day to you all, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you all for checking this one out. So this one, we're calling it Preserving the West Indies Culture and Remembering the Greats. So in a couple of months' time, the ICC ODI World Cup will begin and West Indies will not be taking part. So we were unable to qualify automatically. Therefore, we were placed in a tournament with a few associate nations to try and qualify. We were unable to make it out of that. So we won't be a part of the upcoming World Cup. Having said that, I think sometimes we need to reflect and to remember where we're coming from and where we need to aspire to be in the next couple of years. So in this video, I am going to be taking you guys all the way back, way back to 1975 when we won the first ICC World Cup. Gonna remind you of the players that took part in that game, go through the scorecard, and I'm also going to be taking a look at their career, a short overview of each of the players, where the career is concerned. After going through that, you can think about the caliber of players back then and the caliber of players that we have now, and see whether or not the future is bright for us or there's a lot of things that we need to change. So just give a listening ear to the end as I work my way through this one back in time. So it was all the way back in 1975 that the West Indies met Australia in the final of the ICC World Cup. Back then, teams played 60 overs, right? So it's not like 50 overs like now. So it was the West Indies team that came out victorious in that one. We batted first and we scored a total of 291 for 8 of our 60 overs. Australia, they were bowled out for 274 58.4 overs. So I'm going to go through our batting and our bowling just because I want to highlight our players in this one. Not as how I usually do it when I would take a look at both teams. So West Indies batting first. Roy Fredericks opened the innings with Gordon Greenidge. Fredericks, he made 7 of 13. Greenidge made 13 of 61. Yes, 13 of 61. Alvin Kallicharan, he made 12 of 18. Rohan Kanai, he made 55 of 105 with 8 fours. Clive Lloyd, who was the man of the match in that final there, he scored a century, 102 of 85, getting 12 fours and 2 sixes. Viv Richards, one of the few players that I wish, I was born a little earlier so I could see him play. He didn't do much in that final with the bat. He made 5 of 11. Keith Boyce, he made 34 from 37. Bernard Julian, he made 26 of 37 not out. Derek Murray, the wicketkeeper, made 14 of 10. And Van Bernholder, he made 6 of 2 not out. So that is how we scored that total there. Bear with me, my people. I'm just going through the scorecard, then I will take a look at the players individually. So when it was our time to bowl, most of the bowlers weren't too fruitful. Bernard Julian, he bowled 12 overs for 58 runs. Andrew Roberts, 11 overs, 45 runs. Van Bernholder, 11.4 overs, 65 runs. Clive Lloyd, 12 overs, 38 runs, 1 wicket. The chief destroyer there was Keith Boyce, 12 overs, 50 runs, 4 wickets. So that is how we ended up winning the game there, as we bowled out Australia for 274. Right, so those were the players that took part in that in that final there. So let me just walk through some information here on each player from the ICC, from the ESPN Cricket Info app. Because as I said, the longer we go, it seems as if people start to forget some of these players, right? So Roy Fredericks, who unfortunately passed away back in 2000 at the age of 57, right? He was, according to them, a batsman who distinguished himself, right? One of the few that distinguished themselves through a style of counter-attacking batting against the great pacers of the 1970s. They say he is remembered best for his blazing performance at Perth in 1975-1976 when he raced to one of the most astonishing of all-time test century. He played 59 test matches for us, scored 4,334 runs with a high score of 169 and an average of 42.49. ODI he played only 12, scored 311 runs, high score of 105 with an average of 25.91. Gordon Greenidge now, my people. Right? Gordon Greenidge, remembered for playing some brutal shots. Brutal shots, my viewers and subscribers. They said that he will always be remembered for his unbeaten 214 at Lords in 1984 to set up a 9-wicket win after England had temporarily declared. Right? So they said that is considered to be one of the greatest innings of all time. That unbeaten 214 at Lords. In 108 test matches, he scored a total of 7,558 runs, high score of 226, average of 44.72. Alright? In ODIs, he played 128, scored 5,134, high score of 133 not out, average of 45.03. So that is him. Rohan Kanai, who also played in that final there. They say throughout Rohan Kanai's career, whether at county or test level, he was in the midst of great players. And it speaks volumes for his own ability that he sparkled as brightly as the game around him. So in 79 test matches, he scored a total of 6,227 runs. Average of 47.53, top score of 256. ODI he played 7, scored 164 runs, best of 55, average of 54.66. Moving on to the next man now. Clive Lloyd, the captain, standing at 6 feet 5 inches. Right? One of the greatest leaders of all time is how they describe him. And as I said, he led us to our first ODI title, our first world title. So in 110 test matches, he scored 7,515 runs, top score of 242 not out, 46.67 average. ODI cricket, 87 games, 1,977 runs, 102 top score, 39.54. The best is average. Now, here comes the man, the king himself. They say you knew when he was coming. The outgoing batsman would already have disappeared in the pavilion, and the expectation of what was to follow filled the air. Viv kept you waiting. Right? Viv kept you waiting. Time to ponder. Then he appeared, walking flamboyantly and swagging, arms windmilling slowly. They say he would take to the ground, walk down the pitch, tap the pitch a couple times, look in the bowler's eyes and step back. One of the greatest to have played. 121 test matches he played for us, 8,540 runs at an average of 50.23, top score of 291. Right? That is how it looked for him. ODIs 187, 6,721 runs, 189 not out, average of 47. Did not get into well, a lot of people was in name in playing 11 and he wasn't, he's not able to get into some of them. So moving on to the next one, Stingray was what they called him, right? Stingray was what they called him. And this man right here, my viewers and subscribers, I tell you, my people, this man, according to what they are saying here, was unpredictable as they came. They said it began in 1964 in his native Barbados and finally came to a close in June 1977 when he was forced out of the game, right, because of a knee condition there. 21 test matches, 21 test matches he played for us, 657 runs, 95 top score, average of 24.33, ODIs 857 runs, average of 14 there, high score of 37. But yeah, he was also good with the ball. Remember we spoke about that final there, the first final. 60 test wickets and 13 ODI wickets. Moving on to the next man that was a part of that final that gave us our first trophy, Bernard Julian. Now Bernard Julian, they say that did a bit of everything. Fishing, right? He did a little bit of everything. Did some fishing, had quite a few different activities that he loved. They said that he was a flashy stroke player and he lived his life with a lot of fun. Right? So in 24 test matches, he made 866 runs, 121 top score, 30.92 average, ODI 12 ODIs, 86 runs, 26 not out, the top score 14.33 average. Bowling for us, he took 50 test wickets and 18 ODI wickets. Now the next man that was a part of that winning team for us, Derek Murray. Right? Derek Murray started off for us and he played for a long time. I think he played for 17 years. In 62 test matches for us, my viewers and subscribers, Derek Murray stood firm behind the stumps. Right? 62 test matches. He scored a total of... Yes, so Murray, he scored a total of 1,993 runs for us in 62 test matches. Highest score of 91. Average of 22.90. ODIs, 26 ODIs, 294 runs. High score of 61 not out. 24.50 average. So Derek Murray was the wicket keeper on that fateful day when we won our first world title. Finally, we have Van Bernholder. Van Bernholder was a fast medium bowler in between two eras. They're in between two eras where West Indies cricket was dominated by fast men. Right, so he was there when we had a couple of good pacers, and then with a few others. The top tier, and then after we had people like Charlie Griffith coming in and Westall and these guys. So in 40 games he took 72 wickets. That's tests. In ODIs he played 12 and took 12 wickets. Right, so that is the playing 11 that played that final against Australia in 1975 when we won our first world title. So as I said, this is just me trying to help as relates to preserving the culture, reminding people that West Indies team just didn't start right where it is at now. So when you see a lot of people running up and down and jumping all over the place from franchise to franchise and doing different things, we need to remember that West Indies team is coming from far, and a lot needs to be done to keep the cricket going, both politically and from the players' standpoint. So the people that are in governance over West Indies cricket, there are things that can be done to make sure that what is going to happen this year don't happen again, as relates to the ODI World Cup being played and we're not a part of it. So my reason for going through this now is just to help to hit home that the ODI World Cup is coming up and West Indies players will be at home. Even though we won the first couple of World Cups, 75 and 79. Probably on another day, we can take a look at a few players that were involved in 1979. But gonna leave it right here. So for now, just let me know what you all think in the comment section. Sports to the bone. Keeping it informed. Big up.